I will run, I will climb, I will soar.
Good morning, class. Requesting everyone to please rise since we have our energizer for this morning. So everyone, please rise, please rise. So, did you know how to sing the song Mini Car? No? Okay, the Mini Car song goes like this. Mini car, mini car, mini car, beep, 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 the mini car. Stop and go, stop and go, stop and go, the mini car. Camera, camera, click, click, click the camera, click, click, click the camera, click, click, click the camera. Smile and pose, smile and pose, smile and pose. Okay, everyone, let's perform the mini car. Ready, sing. Mini car, mini car, mini car. Beep, 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 the mini car. Beep, 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 the mini car. Stop and go, stop and go, stop and go, the mini car. Camera, camera, camera. Click, 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 the camera. Smile and pose, smile and pose, smile and pose, the camera. Very good. You perform well the song, so you may now take your seat. Okay, take your seat. Okay, very good. So, at this point of time, I will group you into 3 groups. So please count off. Start here. You may now proceed to your respective group. Group 1 here, Group 2 here, Group 3 and at the center. So I will be back. I have an envelope here. So we have here the Group 1, here's the Group 2, and this is for the Group 3. Now, at this point of time, there are something in this envelope. All you need to do is to choose 2 members that are going to paste some pictures in this envelope so that it will be revealed. So after that, those group that will perform it as fast as they could, they will have the points after the activity. So I will distribute it now. Wait for the time. Hold on, do not open yet. Okay, I will give you 5 minutes. Your 5 minutes start now. Okay, time's up. So, you did all a good job. So we have the work of Group 1, the work of Group 2, and the work of Group 3. However, the Group 2 came first. So good job for the Group 2. You have 10 points. Okay. So class, what did you see in the picture? Yes, Mia. Okay, very good. It is a seed. So, did you see a seed? Okay, nice to know that. We all know that in our surroundings, seeds are very common. So, can you describe the type of seed you have seen? Ano card? Okay, very good. It is rough. Any other answer? Yes, Amon. Alright, some of the seeds are rough, some of the seeds are smooth also. That is good. Okay, now, so this picture you have seen in front of you had the connection of our topic for today. So, without further ado, our topic for today is the tiny seed. So, before we are going to proceed to our topic, I have a question. So, how does being small affect your achievements or affect in reaching your goal? Does being small affect you in reaching your goal? So, without further ado, I have some printed materials here. Okay, I will distribute it one by one into you and you will read it silently. I will give you 15 minutes to read about the story and I'll encourage you to not just read it but to digest it because I have a following questions to be answered by yours truly. Okay class, time is up, 15 minutes is over, so stop reading. Okay? So, did you understand the story? Very good. So, let me test you if you really understand the story. So, first question. What is the title of the story? What is the title of the story? Yes, Lunox. Very good. The title of the story is The Tiny Seed. So, it is the title of the story in which it is our topic also for this morning. Next question. What comes into your mind when you hear the word tiny? So, without scanning your dictionary there, so what comes into your mind when you hear the word tiny? Yes, Derek. Very good. Okay. So according to the story, tiny means small. So tiny in the story or in the context was conceptualized as small. So that is why the tiny seed or it is also to be understood as small seeds or a little seeds. So upon reading the story, who is the author of the story? Any other hand aside from Lunox? Yes, Kadeta. Okay, very good. The author of the story was Eric Carle. So it was written in the photocopy. So the author of the story, The Tiny Seed, is Eric Carle. Okay. Upon reading the story, as you read the story, who are the characters being mentioned or was found in the story? Who are the characters? Yes, Laila. Nice. Very good. That is correct. The characters being found in the story are the tiny seed and the other seeds. So, they are the characters found in your story as you read it. Okay. Where did the story happen? What is the setting or where is the place where the story happened? Any other hand? There is none? It was obviously being mentioned at the story. Yes. Kadeta, again. Okay, very good, Kadeta. You read well. So, the place or the setting of the story was happened on a different place. So, the story happened near the sun, on the icy mountain, in the water, in the desert, and on the ground. So, that was the place where the story happened. Another question. When did the story happen? When did the story happen? Yes, Balmon. Okay, very good, Balmon. Your answer is very right. Very right. So, the story happened during autumn, summer, winter, and spring. So the story, The Tiny Seed, happened in different times. So we have the autumn, the summer, the winter, and the spring. Next question. What happened first in the story? What happened first? Who can answer? Yes, Vixana. Okay, very good. So, the first event or the first happened in the story was a strong wind blown the flower seeds high in the air and carried them across the land. So, this was the first thing that happened in the story, and this was the reason why the tiny seeds begin to travel in different places at different times. Another question. What particular season when there is a strong wind blowing? So, if there is a strong wind blowing, what particular season? Eudora? Typhoon? No! Typhoon is not the correct answer. Any other hand? Tigreal? Yes, very good. You have the correct answer. The particular season when there is a strong wind blowing is during the autumn. Okay. During the autumn, and it was being mentioned there at the story. So during autumn, this particular season has a strong wind blowing. Okay. Another question for us to answer. How many seeds do you think are there in the story? So, according to our last question, so there are many seeds. One is the tiny seeds and the other seeds. So, according to the story, how many seeds do you think are there in the story? Any other hand? Okay, Laila again. Okay, that's right. So, according to the story, there are 10 seeds being mentioned there. Next, how was the main character described in the story? So, the main character is, who was the main character? Of course, it was the tiny seeds. So, how was the author describe the main character in the story? How was he described the tiny seeds? Yes, Lancelot. Okay, very good. As obvious as it was, according to the title itself, the tiny seeds. So therefore, we can conclude that the main character described in the story is that it is tiny and small than the others. So we can say that the main character is a small seed compared to the other 9 seeds. Okay, good answer. So at this point of time, it was during autumn in which there is a strong wind blowing. Now, as the wind continued to blow, one of the seed flew higher. What happened to the seed? So, one of the seed flew higher. So, what happened to this seed? Yes, Fanny! Okay, very good. You have the right answer. So, as the seed flew higher, the sun's hot ray burned it up. So, the seed was being burned by the sun's heat. So, it was being burned. Another, what happened to the tiny seeds? So, as the wind blew the seeds, so what happened to the tiny seed? Nana, what happened to the tiny seed? Very good. The tiny seed sealed on with other seeds. Okay. So, as the wind blew harder, the tiny seed sailed on with others. So, aside from that, the tiny seed does not burn since it flew not higher. So, therefore, it was not burned. The tiny seed sailed on with others. Another question. what place did the tiny seed reach as it continued to sail with the wind? So what certain place this time does the tiny seed reach as they continue to sail with the wind? Goshon. Very good. You read the story well. So, the place that the tiny seed reached as it continued to sail with the wind is on the mountain. Okay, in the mountain, what happened to one of the seed that landed on this place? So, in the mountain, there is a seed, one seed that landed in that place. So, what happened to one of the seed that landed on this place? What happened? Yes, Ling. Nice answer, and it was correct. Yes, it is correct. So the seed that landed on that mountain was died because of the ice. Now, how would you describe the mountain? So, according to the author, what is the mountain looks like? What is the mountain looks like? Esmeralda. Very good. So, according to the author, the mountain has ice that never melts. So, if any seed landed on that place, so there is no chance for that seed to survive because seeds need sunlight to survive. But in the mountain has the seed that never melts. Therefore, if any seed landed on that place, it died because of the ice. So, what happened to the seed as they flew over the ocean? So, as the seed flew with others, they have reached the mountain. So, the wind blows again and they have reached the ocean. So what happened to the seed as they flew over the ocean? 1-1. Very good. Okay. So, one of the seed fell into the water. So as the seed flew over the ocean, so there is one seed that fell into the water. Okay, very good, 1-1. Next question. What happened next after one of the seed fell into the water? So, what happened next when the seed crossed over the ocean? So, what happened next? Yes, Nana? Okay, correct. So after one seed fell into the water, another seed drifted down into the desert. So they have reached the mountain, they crossed the ocean, and now they drifted into the desert. Now let's go to the desert. How would you describe the desert? How would you describe the desert? Savannah. Yes, very good. The desert is hot and dry. So, if one of the seeds fell into the desert, what happened to one of the little plant? What happened? What happened? Any other hand aside from Laila and Mia? Yes, Valer. Okay, very good. So, since the desert is hot and dry, so the one of the little plants that dropped or that was being placed into the desert was, what happened? One of the plant died. So, one of the little plant died because of the hot temperature due to the hotness and dryness of the desert, in which the hotness in that place was so very extreme. So unlike cactuses and other plants who can survive heat, so seeds from an ordinary plant is incapable of living in the desert. So upon crossing the hot and dry desert, so the journey of that tiny seed is not yet over. So let's proceed to another question. How would you describe the tiny seed as it flew? So how would you describe the tiny seed as it flew, Louie? Okay, very good. So, the tiny seed flew very low. So, the tiny seed flew very low as it blown by the wind. Very good, Louie. So, what happened to one of the seeds? So, this time, it was winter time in which the seed was buried into the ice. So, as you read in the story, that time is winter time. So, that time, what happened to one of the seed? During winter, what happened? One of the seed. So, what happened to one of the seed? Estes. Very good. That's correct. So, one of the seed was eaten by a mouse. So, since winter time is full of ice, so a mouse, so eat one of the seed. So, is that the tiny seeds? Yes, it is not the tiny seeds, since mouse, even the birds, cannot see the tiny seed. So, they only see the big one. Therefore, one of the seed that was buried into the ice was eaten by the mouse. So, as the time passes over, summertime arrived. So, it was now during summer. So, most common thing that human do during summer is, the most common thing that human do is to play outside. So, people, especially children, love to play outside. So, let us see what happened to let us see what happened to the seed. So, what happened as the children play outside? Parsa! Parsa, please stand up. Very good, Parsa. So, what happened as the children play outside? A boy accidentally broke one of the growing plants. So, a boy accidentally broke one of the growing plants. So, that was happened when they played. Okay. Another question. What happened to the flower of neighboring plants? Since the tiny seed is not just the only survivor in that journey. So there are many seeds also had survived. So what happened to the flower of neighboring plants? Yes, Jay! Yay! Brilliant answer. Very good, Jay. You have the right answer. So it was picked by a boy and gave it to his friend. Since the flower is so very nice, I guess. So a boy picked it out and gave to his friend. Now, let's consult to the tiny seed. Let's go back to the tiny seeds. The journey of the tiny seed. What happened to the tiny seed this time? After crossing the different phases of the world. After surviving winter. Okay. What happened to the tiny seeds this time? Yes, Yen. Very good. You arrived at the right answer. So this time, at this summer, so the tiny seed grown very tall and a flower has grown on it. So the tiny seed is successfully survived the winter and as it was blown by the wind. So due to this, it was grown very tall and a flower has grown on it. Okay. Since the tiny seed had a flower, so what happened to the giant flower? What happened to the giant flower? Masha! Good! So, the giant flower bent as the wind blew harder. So, another wind blew harder from its flower, and as the wind blew harder, the giant flower bent itself. Last, who else visited the flower? Since the tiny seed had a flower, a giant flower. So, that flower captivated or attract many people. So, aside from people, who else visited the flowers? It me. It me. Okay, very good. Very good, it me. So, what the other thing that visited the flowers are bees, birds, and butterflies. So, thank you for answering the different questions, and I have clearly seen that you read and understand the story very well. Good to know that. So, upon reading the story, let us now proceed on some personal questions in which we are going to relate it to ourselves. No? So, first question, how can you describe the journey of the tiny seed? So, upon reading the story, as you read it, as you understand it, so how can you, in your own opinion, how can you describe the journey of the tiny seed? Yes, Daryl. Okay, very good. So, as we can see, the journey of the tiny seed is not just a fun journey, but it's a journey of surviving in as we undergo different time, as we undergo different climates, different changes in our life. So, the journey of the tiny seed in the story is an adventurous journey. Okay, another question. If you were a seed, would you prefer to be tiny or to be big? Would you prefer to be tiny or to be big? Yes, Jessie. Jessie. Okay. For you, you prefer to be tiny. Because? Why? Okay. Okay. You have the reason. Okay. So for her, she prepared to be a tiny seed because when she become a tiny seed, so he will not seen by a bird, he will not seen by a mouse that will eventually eat her. So that's a good idea. So any other idea? Yes, Paramis. Okay? Why you choose to be a big seed? Okay, you have the point. So for Paramis, so for him, he wanted to be a big seed someday, so that someday he will become a big tree such that he will not blown by the wind. Okay, that's an interesting and astonishing idea. So let's proceed to the another question. If you were given a chance to change the title of the story, what would it be and why? So, if you have the given chance to change the title of the story, what would it be and why? Yes, Teresa. I saw you laughing at your seatmate. Okay, Teresa, please answer. If you were given a chance to change the title of the story, what would it be and why? Okay. That could be. So, for Teresa, it would be the journey of the tiny seed. So, It was interesting and was fitted to the story also. So the journey of the tiny seed. So the journey of the seed itself is very interesting too. So it was, I guess, the plot of the story. The journey of the seed. Okay, very good, Teresla. Another, how does being small affect you in achieving your goals? So in your own opinion, class, how does being small affect you in achieving your goal? Any other hand? Okay, Leslie. Very good answer. So, being small doesn't affect, so for her, being small doesn't affect her in achieving her goal as long as you have the courage, as long as you have the enthusiasm, as long as you have the will to get and to have your goals in life. So, very good. Thank you for that wonderful and outstanding answer, class. Okay, so let's proceed to the other part of our discussion. Now, at the same group, group 1, group 2, and group 3, so I want you to answer this. So, in front is a graphic organizer. So, as you have seen, there are the different seeds. So, all you need to do is to pick the details. So, for the seed 1, what happened to the seed 1? Seed 2, and to the rest of the seed until seed 10. So, you are going according to the story that you have been reading recently. So, you are going to pick the details of the story. Okay? So, I will give you 10 minutes to answer this activity. Okay? So, your 10 minutes will start now and we will check that activity later. Thank you. So, time is up and so let's check your work later. Okay, please proceed to your respective seats and please prepare a 1/2 sheet of paper for your quiz. So, the direction is match column A with column B. So, you are going to match what is being said in column A must be matched in column A. So, I will give you 10 minutes. So, answer directly and do not copy, just answer directly. You need to match column A to column B. So, I will give you 10 minutes and I will collect the papers for evaluation. Okay? Okay, your 10 minutes will start now. Time's up. So, please collect the paper and put them in front. Please collect, hurry up. Okay, collect the paper. So, get your notebook and please copy the assignment. So, our assignment is that study the sample story grid on page 109 on your Reading Network book. So, please study the sample story grid on page 109. So, please study that sample story and I will give you a question tomorrow. Am I understood, class? Very good. So, requesting everyone to please rise and let's lead a prayer. Let's bow down our heads. Dear Lord, the giver of all graces, I'm sorry for all my faults and humbly ask in your forgiveness. Bless us all to love one another and to love you above all things. Amen. Goodbye, class. See you tomorrow.